This conference will now be recorded.
ఇలా పెద్దగా ఉన్నాడు. ఇవి రావండి కసిమంగళం
Hey guys, good morning. How are you doing? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Perfect. Okay. All right. So we were discussing about operators, right? No, data types, right? We're done with the data types and typecasting, if I'm not wrong. Correct? Okay. So today let's understand about the operators, guys. Okay. Operators. So what do you know about the operators? What do you know about the operators? Ping me in the chat box. So this week we are going to discuss about operators followed by flow controls, right? Followed by flow controls, then functions. We'll discuss about the functions. Okay. Right. So what do you know about the operators? So operators are used to perform some action on two variables. Only two variables, two operands. Perform operation between two operands. Okay. So it all depends on the variable type, right? Yes, it depends on the variable type. Okay, let me take a new file. Operators. Okay, so operator is some kind of operator. Yeah, it's operator is some kind of symbol, right? Symbol on the keyboard that we see. So that can be like that has some action, as you said. Okay, that's going to perform some action. So the action can be performed on a single variable or on two variables or on three variables. It depends on that. Okay, so can be act on different variables. An operator can act on different variables. So the operator, it's just something like a symbol, okay, that performs some action. Yes, you are right, that performs some action. Okay, some action, right? So right, what are the different operators we have? Okay, what are the different operators that we have? We have arithmetic operators. Yes, arithmetic operators. Okay, when I look at arithmetic operators, what are the different arithmetic operators? So in general, the arithmetic operators are like, it's mathematical, simple mathematical calculations, right? So that's what you do: addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. So these are the basic operations, arithmetic operations. If you look at, forget about the programming and all. In mathematics, these are the basic arithmetic operations can be performed, right? So this is addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division, multiplication and division, right? So these are the things, multiplication and division. So these are basic operators, right? Basic operators, and these operators are going to apply on two variables, okay? So you can say that these are binary operators also. You can say these are the binary operators also. Binary, when I say binary, the operator is going to apply on two variables, on two operands. Okay, so let's say an example of an x value is 10 and y value is 20. Now I can apply this addition operation on these two variables. How can I apply this? I'll just say x plus y. Okay, now so if I say 10 plus 20, that is a constant. So always this will be like constant, 10 plus 20. But I don't want that. So whatever the value I am giving to x, you take that value. Whatever the value I am giving to y, you take that value and do sum. So now in this case, my x values and y values are 10 and 20. For the other user, it could be like 100 and 200. Whatever you give us, I don't bother about that, but I'm going to do what? I'm going to do addition. I'm going to sum up, right? So here, how many variables I have? Two variables. So here, the whole is considered as an expression. Okay, so this is an expression. X plus y is an expression. Okay, x and y are nothing but operands, and plus is an operator. Okay, this is an operator. This is an operator, and x and y are nothing but operands. Try to understand the terminology, the new people. Okay, so this is operator, yes, and these are what? Operands. Okay, operands. Okay, are variables. In general, they are variables, right? But when you are using with this combination, we call it as operands. Is that understandable? The terminology? Operands. X and Y are operands, and plus is just an operator. Plus is just an operator. Okay, so this how this operator plus is acting on two variables, so we call this as a binary operator. The plus is a binary operator, and in the similar way the minus or multiplication, division, all these are can be applied on two variables, right? So all these can be considered as binary operators. Okay, of course. So when you look back to this, okay, when you look back to this, still we have few more arithmetic operators listed. So along with this basic operations, okay, we have something called floor division, guys. Floor division, which we going to use double slash as an operator, floor division. Then we have modulo operator, okay, modulo operator. So that's percentage symbol. And we have one more called power operator, or you can also say exponent operator, exponent. 2 cube, 3 cube. So we have that, right? 2 to the power of 4, 2 to the power of 5. We call it like in mathematics. That's what. So power operator. So we have this exponent, and the representation operator representation is double star, double star. So these are the basic arithmetic operators that applies on two operands, two variables. Okay, all arithmetic operators can be performed on two operands, can be performed on two operands. So hope this is straightforward and not much explanation is required, guys. If anybody is unable to follow, please let me know. Please let me know. So you take two values. So input, how to read the numbers from the keyboard, we know, right? Enter the number 1, okay, and enter the number 2. So I'm taking that as X value, and I'm taking another Y value, enter the number 2. Okay, so now I can apply, I can say X plus Y, X plus Y, X minus Y, okay, X division Y. Just you need to apply the operator in between these two variables, that's all. X floor division Y, X modulus operator Y, and X power operator. Okay, these are the operators. Just need to play with that, that's all. Okay, so these are arithmetic operations. Okay, arithmetic operators, we have these arithmetic operators. Okay, so any confusion around this? Nothing, right? Straightforward. So I have two variables X and Y, and I am going to apply these mathematical operations. Okay, so guys, by default the input function is going to return me what? A string type, right? The string type can be converted into integer or not? We need to convert that into integer, right? So integer of this one input, right? Integer of this input, right? So what I'm doing, I'm converting into integer because I'm going to perform arithmetic operations, so that must be a number but not a string, right? So I'm converting into integer, so string into integer. Now I'm applying this, just run this, enter the number 1, okay, so keep some number, okay, 15, enter the number 2, 4, okay, 15 and 4. My numbers what I'm giving is 15 and 4, right? So what is the value, can you guess? 15 plus 4, 19, of course. So here 15 minus 4, 15 minus 4 is what? 11, right? Okay, so here division case, what is the value here that you see? X division by 15 divide 4. So what is the value here, guys? So what is the value here? X division y, what is the value here? x division y. What is the value here? Okay, so it's a basic division operation, guys. So you take 15 and you do basic division. So 15 division 4. 4 threes are what? 12. 4 threes are 12. And remainder value is what? Remainder value is what? 3. Correct? Remainder value is what? 3 only, right? 4 3 is 12. Right. So you keep a dot here and you add a 0 here. Then so 4 7s are what? 28. Okay. Now the remainder value is what? 2. Again we'll add 0 here. 4 5s are 20. Okay. So now remainder is 0. Basic mathematics, guys. I'm not doing anything else. You have to go back to your school days, 5th class or 3rd class. Okay. Right. So this is what the output. What is the output here? 3.75. This is the result of this division operation. This is the result of this division operation. Hope you understand. 3.75. So here, so we have something called x floor division, guys. X floor division. What is the difference between these two? X division y and x floor division y. The difference is it is going to consider only the floor value. Okay, it's just going to consider the floor value instead of considering the whole value, the complete value. It is just ignoring the decimal values. Okay, it just ignores the decimal values. It just gives the 3. That's it. That is only the difference. Okay, floor division is going to give the floor value, and this is what modulo operator. Okay, modulo operator is going to stop the first I mean whenever it sees the remainder. So if there is no further division possible, then it will stop, meaning that, okay, the same thing. Let me do it again. So here I have the value 15. Okay, I have the value 15, and okay, 4 3s are what? 4 3s are 12. What is the remainder? Remainder is 3. That's it. So now, so is there any possibility to divide this 3 with 4? No, right? It's more than the number. So here it will stop. Here it will stop, and this become the remainder value. Okay, this will be the remainder value. So the remainder value we are going to get when you apply this operator, modulo operator. This we use. We need this operator. So understand it clearly. Okay, understand clearly, guys. So we use this. So x mod y, we are going to get the remainder value is 3. And what about this x double star y? This is a power operator. When I say power operator, it's going to repeat that, guys. So x value is what? 15, and y value is what? 4. So it is going to repeat 4 times. 15 into 15 into 15. 4 times. That is what? 15 to the power of 4. So x2 to the power of y. This means what? x2 to the power of y. So now see the output. Yeah, here I already entered the numbers and see the output. So here you can see that output 19 11 3.75 33 50625. So here what is the value of this? 50625. So that is what it is going to give. Okay, so difference between floor and modulus. Floor, it's just floor is different, right? So this is, it calculates completely, and only it consider only the basic, like the before the decimal value, whatever the value that we have, that is going to consider. But the remainder is different, right? So remainder is going to, it goes till where it I mean at what level it stops the this division, right? So there it is going to consider that remainder value. So when there are different set of numbers you try, then you will understand the difference. So here, as we have the same value for both the cases, maybe you might feel that both are same, but there are cases where you see some different values. That depends on your x and y values. Depending on your x and y values, that may differ. Okay, both are different. Okay, both are different. So yeah, so these are basic arithmetic operators we have. So these are we call them as binary operators. In a similar way, we have multiple operators, guys. Multiple operators. Okay. The next thing is relational operators. The next thing is relational operators. Okay, relational operators. Relational operators. What about these relational operators? So relational operators are going to talk about the relation between two variables, so x and y. So these are going to talk about the comparison or a relation. So is x and y both are same? Just how they are related? Is both variables are same, or one variable is bigger than the other variable, or lesser than the other variable, or like how it is going to relate the first variable with the second variable. That's what it is going to talk about. Okay, so we have different relational operators, guys. What are the relational operators we have? Less than, greater than, less than or equal to, greater than or equal to, double equals to. Okay, we have different operators. We have different operators, guys. Okay, so just we can apply directly x less than y. So what it does, so it is going to check my x variable value is lesser than the y variable value or not. So x value is what we know, that x value is 15. In the previous example we have 15 and 4, right? So taking them as an example, and yeah, proceed. Okay, here I'm taking example of 15 and y value is 4. Okay, now tell me the answer. So what does it mean? Is x less than y? Is x less than y? It's a question, right? It is a question. So this expression is going to return a boolean type value, that is what, either true or false. All arithmetic operators gives some number, again might be an integer or a floating point value. But when you look at the relational operators, the relational operators gives, okay, either true or false. The possible values for relational operators, okay, only boolean type, those are true and false, only these two. So now this is going to check, is x value less than y or not. So is x less than y? 15 less than 4, is that true? No, right? So this will be false. This will be false. In the similar way, x greater than y. Yes, it's a question. Is x value greater than the y value? Yes, of course, 15 greater than y. I'm going to get it true. Right? So I'm going to check both are same or not. What is this? Is x equal to y? Pay attention here. It is a double equals, not single equals. If it is a single equal, that is a assignment operator. If it is a double equals, that is, if it is a double equals to, that is a comparison operator. It is going to compare the value of x with value of y. Are both the values are same or different? Okay, x and y values are same or different? 15 is equivalent to 4? No, that will be false, because both are different numbers. Now I'm going to combine. So now we are going to combine these combinations, x less than y, okay, x less than y, and x equal to y. I'm going to compare this one with this one. I'm going to combine this one with this one. So combinations basically. Okay, so here when we are combining, how it is going to work? X less than or equal to y. That is what the operator is, less than or equal to. So this means that x less than y or x equal to y. This both are same, guys. This expression and this expression both are same. Both are same. So it is going to be our condition. It is going to be our condition when you combine two expressions, less than and equal to. When you combine, it will be like this, x less than y or x equal to y, meaning that it's a or condition, right? It's a or condition, logical or, we call this as a logical or. Okay, when you apply this, so it checks this one first. It will check this one. If it returns true, for suppose, if it returns true, then it doesn't worry about the other one because it's a or case. The whole result will be true. For suppose this is going to be false, this is going to be false, then it is going to, the other one is going to evaluate. If by any chance if this is true, then the whole result will be true, meaning that, so it is going to perform two operations together. It performs two operations together, okay, with or condition, or in the sense, so either this one or that one is true, then the whole result will be true. So in this case, x less than y, x less than y meaning what? 15 less than 4, false. X equal to y, 15 equal to 4, false. False are false, both are false. So obviously the result will be what? False. So this one and this one both are same. Both are same. The similar way, I can say x greater than or equal to y. X greater than or equal to y. What does it mean? This is equivalent to this one, x greater than y or x equal to y. Now what is the output, guys? So x greater than y is x greater than y. If I say x value is what? 15, y value is what? 4. 15 greater than 4. Is 15 greater than 4? Yes, of course. Right? It is true. It is going to be, it is going to return true. And as the first one is true, the whole result will become true. It doesn't care about the other expression, whether it is a true or false. So because it's an or condition, if this become true or if this become true, the whole result will be true. Okay, now the first one is true, right? Then the whole result will be true. Then the whole result will be true. Of course, as this one and this one both are same, so here also we'll get. Do you understand? For relational operators, okay, so always it returns two values, either true or false. The relational operators applies on two operands that results to either true or false. Okay, guys, so hope you understand the relational operators. If you wanted to execute, yes, you can execute it. So enter the number 15, enter the number 4. You can see the values here. Okay, false, true, false, 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 true, and true. Okay, so it's matched or not. So that's what the outputs working with these relational operators. Okay, relational operators. Next, let us understand about logical operators. Okay, let's understand about logical operators. Okay, logical operators. When I say logical operators, so it's going to apply, the logical operator is going to apply, okay, on Boolean operands, guys, meaning that, okay, so here the relational operators I applied on x and y, and what type of data this x and y, what type of variables they are integer types, right? And if you look at here, the arithmetic operators, okay, on what operands we have applied. So again, the integers, right? The numbers, basically. The variable types are numbers, right? So when it comes to the logical operators, okay, the logical operators applies on Boolean type values, meaning that the left hand side and the right hand side operands type must be a Boolean or any expression, okay, that evaluates to either true or false. Okay, let's understand. Let me take b1 value. So this should be a Boolean type, so either true or false. let me take b2, this should be a Boolean value that can be true or false. So logical operators, what are the logical operators that we have is and, logical or, logical not. All right. So and, or, not. These are the logical operators we have. Now, so I can apply b1 and b2. Now my variables are what? b1 and b2. What type of variables are these? It's a Boolean type, and it is also Boolean type. That is what the point. So to apply this logical operators, the left hand side and left side and right side, okay, both must be of Boolean types. Okay. So b1 and b2. What is the output, guys? b1 and b2. If I say b1 and b2, what is the output? b1 is true and b2 is false. True and false. So when I say and, okay, both must be true. Then only the result will be true, because it is and case. And means it's compulsory. Both must be written true, then the result will be true. So here true and false, so the result will be false. In the similar way, b1 or b2, b1 or b2. So here, so this is b1 is true or b2 is false. So when you are applying or condition, any one of them is true, then the result will be true. So both must not be true. If any one of them is true, then the result will be what? True. So b1 or b2. So b1 is what? True or false. b2 value is what? False. B true or false is going to be true, right? So the other one, the not operator, right? The not. So that is going to apply on a single operand base. The not operator is going to apply on a single operand, not two. Okay. It must be a single value. That not can be applied on a single value. Okay, meaning that I can say not b1. I can also say not b2. Okay, do you understand this? Not b1. When I say not b1, b1 is what? True. I'm saying not true. Not true means it's a opposite. It's going to return the opposite value. What false. And here not false. Not false in the sense I'm going to get what? True. If you understand this, I'll give you some more stuff on this logical operators. Are you good with this?
Sir, can we use? Hello.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Can we use and or operator instead of and symbol and pipe symbols like in C?
No, we cannot. So we have
Okay.
a bitwise operators. So this is pipe symbol and symbol we have. These are called. Can you please mute yourself? So this is a pipe symbol and cap symbol. These are bitwise operators, okay, not logical operators here. Maybe in C language you would be seeing like double and or double pipe like this. So those are going to act as logical or and logical and, but in Python we don't have that. Okay, we don't have that. We have bitwise operators where we see single pipe, single ampersand like this. Okay, anyhow, we'll talk about them. So these are the operators, logical operators. These are the logical operators. Now the important thing here is, so here b1 and b2 are straightforward Boolean type values, right? So here instead of this direct true or false, it can be an expression also. That can be an expression also. Say for example, b1 is equal, so x greater than y. So x greater than y is what? An expression or not? X greater than y is what? An expression. So need not to be straightforward true or false. Okay, it can be expressions also. X less than y. Okay, so this can be like this also. Do you understand, guys? So here I can keep like this. Okay, let me take both. So it can be like this. Now obviously x greater than y, x value 15 if I give, y value 4, x greater than y, this will be true, and x less than y, this is going to be false. So both are like now, so the output of these 4 statements and the output of these 4 statements of course will be same. Understanding? Are you guys following this?
Yes.
So here b1 can be an expression that evaluates to true or false. Ultimately that must be either true or false, but that is going to evaluate from an expression. That can be an expression. So that can be a single simple expression, or that can be like a big expression. It can be a big expression, but ultimately
Just
by
one,
evaluating the whole expression, it has to evaluate it to either true or false. That's it. Yeah, tell me.
so just one question. So the since we are evaluating the expression, right?
Yeah.
So the answer can be either true or false. So this will be the
Yeah.
type Boolean, not like a string, true or false, right?
No, it will be a Boolean type.
Okay, thank you.
It will be a Boolean type. Is x greater than y? It is going to return true, not string. Okay, and here
Okay.
it must be true. It must be true or false. That meaning that a Boolean type. Okay, now see, now I can directly apply this, right? Now what I do is one more set of print statements I'm taking instead of b1, right? So I can apply x greater than y directly, x less than y. So this is also you can do. So this are putting all together in a single line instead of having multiple places. So these are, you have to practice these things, guys. So these are like important while programming. X less than y, x greater than y. Okay. In reverse. Okay. So x less than y. X less than y is what? X15 less than 4. False, not false in the sense true. That's what the output. To match the same output, I did this. Okay. So you can, so here the point is what? You can have the expressions like this. You can apply the logical operators like this. Okay, so all these are combinations of logical operators uses. Okay, so this is important, guys. So practice it and understand it carefully. Okay, this is, you can directly underline these, or directly you can assign the variables in you can assign the expressions into some other variables, and you can use the variables simply. Otherwise directly you can use the expression here itself in between, like you use your logical operators. Okay, so this how you can in our regular programming, this is model we follow. If the expression is very big expression instead of simple x greater than y, if that is involves like a very big expression, then the recommendable way is you assign them into a particular variable, Boolean variable, and then you use that. That's how you can practice. Okay, right, guys. So hope you understand about this. Okay, so then we have, okay, we have a few more operators, guys. We have covered relational operators, arithmetic operators, and logical operators. Okay, we have some special operators called membership operators. Okay, so we have something called membership operators. We have identity operators, membership operators, and identity operators. Yeah, bitwise operators also there. We'll talk about them probably tomorrow, but today let's finish these two, membership operators and identity operators. What these operators does, you know, membership operators are going to verify the membership, so what membership say? There is like a club. So people in general ask, right? Okay, so do you have membership or not to get into the club, right? If you have membership, then you say like you have membership, like if you can get into that club, right? Club is what? A group of members, right? When you have a group of members, okay, when you have a group of members, and to join with them, do you have are you part of that group or not? If you are part of that group, then you can say yes, you have membership and you can join with them. So the same thing applies in programming also. When you have group of elements, when you have group of objects, okay, when you have a group of objects, say for example, I have a list of students. I have a list of students. So here I have a list of students. Okay. Okay. So our list of characters, something like this: A, B, okay, C, D, something like group of things basically. That can be group of things or can be group of numbers. Okay, can be group of numbers or group of students, group of products, group of policies, anything, anything. Now when I have something like this, now I wanted to check whether my list is having a object C or not. My C is part of in this list or not. C, okay, that's what C in this particular list or not. That's what I'm going to check. So the membership operators are nothing but just in and not. We have membership operators, okay, in and not. These are the two membership operators I have, in and not. So here this is going to check whether my C is inside this list of group. If yes, this is going to return true. If no, this is going to return false. Okay, so as this is a boolean type, of course it is going to return a boolean type, so directly I can print it here. And here, what is the output of this? C is present in my list or not? C is present in my list or not? Yes, so it is going to return me true. It is going to return me true because C is there in the list. C is there in the given list. So hope you understand, guys. C is there in the list. Okay, C is there in the list. So the other one is right negation, basically opposite. C not in C, not in list. So I'm saying that I'm just asking the question, a negative question. Isn't C part of my list? Isn't C part of my list? Okay, this is going to return false because it is part of my list. Okay, that's a negative question. Okay, so this is how it is going to work. Simple, straightforward things. Membership operators are going to check the membership whether that exists in the given list or not. A simple, straightforward things, true and false. Right? Sorry, excuse me. Right. So then we have identity operators, guys, in a similar way. Okay, identity operators. Your output is A1, B2, C3. Why? Okay, so then we have identity operators, guys. So identity in the sense, just it is going to check the identity. Yeah, what is that?
Suppose L equal to A, B, C, D and L1 equal to 1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay.
My output is the first is A and followed by the L1. L1. How can we write the code?
That is the program you have to do it. Okay, so you keep your question with that. That's the program. You have to combine both of them. Both the lists you are going to combine, but while combining it, you are going to print that the first element of the first list followed by first element of the second list. You are going to do it.
Yes.
Right. So what you can do is you can just add a for loop and you iterate one list and append the other list elements. That's it. Just you need to write 2 to 3 lines of code.
Okay.
And to do that, we need to understand about the for loop. Okay, so maybe day after tomorrow we'll be getting into that. So
Okay.
you keep a note of it and remind me day after tomorrow we'll talk about that.
Sure. Okay. Thank you.
Right.
Okay, thank you.
Now, so using this membership operator, we are not going to achieve that. Whatever your output you are expecting, that's not possible. This is just to say this will always return either true or false. That's it. Okay, so identity operators, when you see identity operators, this is and is not. This is going to identify. Basically, I have one mobile, okay, and you are going to check. You have one more mobile. So, is both the mobiles are same or not? Right. So both the objects are same or not. When you have two objects, so are both the objects are same or not? So I have x value as 10 and y value is also 10. Now my values are same, right? My values are same. Then so in the memory, is it going to maintain a single copy or multiple copies? Is it going to maintain a single copy 10 and my x and y both are pointing to the same copy? Is that how it is going to behave? In this case, if both are pointing to the same copy, then when I apply this identity operator is x is y, then of course both are pointing to the same value, right? Same copy. Then x is y is going to return me true. This returns me what? True, because both are going to maintain the same copy. Understand? If both the objects x and y, here we have two variables, two integer variables, nothing but two objects. We can consider them as objects. Okay, two objects. We have two objects here. Okay, have two objects here. Are the two objects are pointing to the same copy or not? Pointing to the same object or not? Actually, this is what object, and these are just reference variables to that objects. Okay, now so x and y are referring to the same object or not? That is what the point here. Are x and y pointing to the same object or pointing to different objects? That is the point here. So here they are pointing to the same object. So when you print is x is y, of course it is going to return true. Of course it is going to return true. This is the last print statement, returning what? True. Okay, so the other one is opposite, x is not y. So reverse question, so whatever you want you can use it. Okay, so false. Right guys, so if you want to check, you can check id of x. So there is a function called id function to know, okay, to know the unique address location of that particular object. So both are going to be same, 21216. A big number, such a big number, this unique id that will be assigned to each and every Python object. Okay, so that anyhow we can see that by using id function, id of x. So are both are same or different? Both are same. So this identity operator is going to return true if both are same. Okay, now x value is 10, y value is 20. Now if I say print x is y, of course it is going to return me what? False, because both are different copies, different objects. 10 will be placed in different location, 20 will be placed in a different location, because both are different values. So you can see now this is returning false. Okay, identity operators are helps to know whether the given two objects are same or different objects. Right guys, followed? Understand?
Sir, hello.
Yes.
If
Yeah, I can
x
hear
and
you. Tell me.
x value and y value is the same, then memory allocation is single point, right?
Single copy. Yeah. Single copy. Yeah. That is how Python is implemented. For integers, for
Okay.
strings, okay, if the values are same, they are going to allocate the same copy, pointing to the same copy.
That means that unique ID is having x and y is same. Hello.
Unique values. Come again.
Same. The x value of unique value and y value of unique value is same. Yesterday you
Yes,
try
same.
some box, right? Okay. One more doubt, in arithmetic operators in between only working with integers?
It's not exactly not all, but you can apply the plus, right, on other things as well. Plus is going to plus is a kind of overloading operator. You can use that on
Okay.
numbers as well as strings also,
Strings also.
but not
Okay.
others. But
Okay.
not others. Like you can perform, you cannot perform say division operation on strings. You cannot perform modulo operator on strings. So you cannot apply. So
Okay,
should
my
be
doubt is,
integers or floating point values.
oh, can I
You can
use
apply.
and y is a float value?
Yeah, you can use it.
In that case, x percentage y, is it possible to in between integer and floating value? X percentage y, yeah. In C, CPP, it is not possible, right? But Python, I don't know.
Be written 0.0.
Okay.
So
Okay.
this is the remainder. Remainder is going to be float value. That's it.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Because the float is
Can you
involved, right? As it is.
Sir, can you take y
Yeah.
equal to 1.5?
Okay, you wanted to see the remainder with having some value instead of 0. So
Yeah.
now you can see the remainder 1.
Okay.
Okay.
But in CPP, x percentile y, it will be must be x and y data type must be integers, not
Because
in combination.
they are static data type languages, right? This is a dynamic type of programming language, so it allows.
Okay. Thank you.
In parallel, we have semicolon at the end of the statement. In Python, we don't need that, guys. We don't need semicolon.
Then how it will identify that the current statement is ended?
So separation, right? We have a tab space indentation concept. Okay, we'll talk about that to identify that. Okay, so as of now, this is in one line and this is another line, right? So they are considering as a separate lines. But when you are coming into functions, when you are coming to if condition, if you are coming to loops, there where we are having multiple group of statements all together in a block, there how to identify? That's the question comes over there. There the answer is we have indentation in Python. Okay, so I have if condition. Okay, and I wanted to write multiple statements under this if, then we'll maintain one tab space. Okay, say I'm defining x value 10, y value 20, something like so. These two statements belongs to this if condition. How do I say is, so these statements are maintaining one tab space. This both are belongs to the if condition. Now if I say here x plus y, this is different now. This is nowhere related to if condition. This is out of if condition because it doesn't maintain any tab space. So this is not related to this group. So indentation, using indentation, we are going to achieve that. Anyhow, we'll talk about that. So we don't need colon or semicolon, anything. Right, guys. Tomorrow we'll talk about bitwise operators, guys. Bitwise operators followed by operator precedence, and then I'll start with flow controls tomorrow. I'll talk about if condition tomorrow. Okay, so the bitwise operators I'll take half an hour, and then I'll start with flow controls. If okay, tomorrow I'll start with flow controls. Tomorrow and day after tomorrow I'll try to end up that, and this Saturday we'll have a session. If possible, we'll have a programming session, guys. Okay, programs, we'll discuss about the programs. Okay, all right, so that's all, guys, for today. Let's meet tomorrow. Thank you, Venkatesh.
Yesterday recorded session is not there in YouTube.
Yesterday we did not have session. Yesterday session is cancelled. We did not have.
Saturday section also, sir.
Saturday, Sunday we don't have. This is only weekdays. Monday to Friday. The plan is for Monday to Friday. Okay, but yeah, Saturday, Sunday we did not have, and Monday class is cancelled.
Okay,
So
thank
after
you.
3 days, yeah, this is what the session we have.
Okay.
Okay, right. Okay, guys. Okay. Inform to your friends also, like ask them to join. Okay, people, I don't see most of the people are not joining. Maybe they feel that classes are not happening, or I don't know what is the reason, but yeah. So
Okay.
going forward, the sessions are more useful or important. That's where like we actually start with the programming. Okay, let's wind up for today. We'll meet tomorrow. Bye bye. Have a good day, guys. Bye.
Hi, sir.